combining lots of things together here. We got simplifying equations, we got GCF factoring, and we got normal factoring. Okay, we've done plenty of normal factoring, plenty of videos on that, so we'll make sure to hit this though. So to go all the way back to simplifying, we're going to start with these two simplifying ones here. This is back from, this is like 2 units ago, but it's all in the big picture. So I am taking this thing in the parentheses and I am adding it to this thing in this parentheses, right? And we're going to combine like terms. Okay, so I have an x squared here and an x squared here. I am adding them together, so it's no big deal, no stress, no worries. 4 plus 9, we got 13x squared. I double check myself. Cool, next one, I have negative 5x minus 2x. So I have, from 0, I have negative 5x, and I am subtracting off 2x, so we are at negative 7x. Nice. Cool. Negative 1, we are at negative 1, and I am adding on 7. I am adding 7, passing 0. Okay, this might help. I don't know if this visual demonstration helps, but it's going to be a 6, right? Cool. All right. You could think 7 minus 1, whatever little tricks you want to do. Boom, there's your answer, done. You're simplifying. You're not solving anything. Please don't say x equals 2 or whatever, okay? Simplifying. Oh, God. This makes me nervous, and I'm super stressed out. Why am I super stressed out? And I think that half of you are going to get it wrong. No offense.
Because of the sign change.
The sign change that happens from
right there.
You are subtracting this thing, okay?
I know.
Everything was super fine and chill right here. All those things were added to all these things. Cool. You just combine them together, just smush them together. Here is a different story. You are subtracting this, which it would be like doing what? I know you see a subtraction and you see a negative sign and you see the number 5, but when I see all of this together, I am thinking add 5. I'm thinking plus 5. If you're minusing a minus 5, that is plus 5, okay? So negative times negative is a positive, whatever types of things you want to think of that. So think about that. And also, this is not a plus 7x. I know I'm pointing at a plus 7x and saying it's not a plus 7x, but what is this going to do once I do this thing to this thing? I'm subtracting 7x, okay? So I'm going to subtract the 7x, and I'm going to minus a minus 1, and if I minus a minus 1,
Yeah.
plus 1.
Whoa.
Okay, so now, what I personally would do is I would just pair them up together and watch out for that and be careful. But if you don't trust yourself, I would rewrite everything. Rewrite everything. So for this parentheses, I'm just going to rewrite it. X cubed plus 2x squared minus 10x plus 5. Cool, because what's in front of this parentheses? Nothing. A 1. I actually like that. Yeah. If there was a 2 here, I'd be 2 times 2 times 2. This would be the minus 20. This would be plus whatever. Okay? But it's not there, so it's good. But what's in front of this parentheses?
A negative 1.
A negative 1. So this is now plus 5x cubed. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Plus 5x cubed. Minus 7x plus 1. Okay?
Wow.
And now you literally don't have to look at this again, because this is going to confuse people with the whole minus and all that kind of stuff, okay? The whole opposite thing, okay? Just rewrite it, and then now you're just back to as easy as this over here, okay? So that's my tip for you guys. If you're super advanced, don't do this step and just do the thing, but whatever. I'm now combining like terms. X cubes with x cubes. I have 1, I have 5, I have 6 x cubes. See how that's way more simple. Is that proper grammar? Way more simple? That is much more simpler?
Much more.
Nope, I don't know.
Mucho más.
It's mucho más if I, instead of x cubed minus a negative 5x, whoa, okay? So then you could mess that up, all right? Anyway, how many x squareds I'm looking for now? Hey, there's only one x squared. How lonely and sad for him.
Depressing.
Okay? Now I'm looking for the x's, just the x and just the x. Cool. Negative 10 minus 7x is negative 17x. All right, and the last one is 5 plus 1 is 6.
Yay.
How simple is that? But I guarantee you, this like 5 plus 1, oh my goodness, you're not going to mess that up. But what you might mess up is a 5 right here and a minus 1. And you're like, oh, 5 minus 1 is 4. You're going to screw that up, and that's guaranteed. That's an ABCD answer option for you, right? So don't mess that up, or don't get caught. Done. All right. Now that's simplifying. That's a refresher on simplifying. Now let's go ahead and do GCF, greatest common factor, factoring out stuff. Okay, let's start with this one. What do they have in common? I'm looking across. Right now, I'm just looking at the numbers. The 6, the 4, they're all even, and this is a 2.
A 2.
So they have a 2 in common, right? And that's the most they have in common because that is a 2. I can't do anything else. So they all have a 2 in common. Looking around the x's, what's the most amount of x's they have in common?
2.
Just 1 x.
Oh, 1.
He doesn't have 2, he doesn't have 2, but they all have 1 x. Okay, cool.
Nice.
What's the most amount of z's they have in common?
0.
None, because there are no z's. Can you see what I'm saying? Okay. Just throwing that out there. Y's, the most amount of y's. They all have a y. What was the most amount? It's just 1 y. Okay, that's what they have in common. Okay. So now, as maybe I didn't have, I'm trying to change up the way I'm saying things sometimes. I'm going to go through here and do these things to all of that. I'm going to walk through, and what is a 2 going to do to all of these? I'm dividing them all by 2. So I'm going to go through here and divide all of them by 2. And then they have an x in common, so I'm going to go through and do what? Just subtract, take away 1 x from each of them. Then the same thing with y, I'm going to take 1 y from each of them. Okay, that's literally what I'm doing. So pass it on through here. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I took an x, and I took a y. Done.
Boom.
I had 2 x's, I took 1. I had 1 y, I took 1. 14 divided by 2 is 7. I took an x, it's gone. I had 2 y's, now I only have 1 left. Just collecting things. Negative 42 divided by 2 is negative 21. Take an x, take a y, I'm done. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That's my little placeholder there. But is there something else there? I have an x. I have 2 x's. I take away 1. I do have an x here. I have 2 y's. I take away 1. I do have a y here as well. Okay. So for me, this looks silly, and I would erase that. But technically, there is 1, for the number there, if that makes sense. Okay. So boom. That's your answer. There's the longest box ever. All right. This next one, I purposely tried to make it a little bit more weird on you guys. What do they have in common? You look through, they have a 2 in common. They have a 3 in common. Oh, no, they don't have a 3 in common. He screwed that up. 4 in common. They do have a 4 in common. Okay, greatest common factor. All right. What is the most amount of x's they all have in common? 4, yes. X to the 4th, okay? Last class it was like 10. I agree that the most amount of x's that anyone has is 10. That's the most amount that any one single x has. But all of them together in common, what's the most amount they all have in common? Greatest common, you know what I'm saying? Is 4. He's got 4. He has at least 4. He has at least 4. No more than that though, okay? And then y's, they all have a y in common, but how many? I have 5 here, 2 here, 1 here. Okay, cool, done. That's the most amount of y's that I have, okay? And there we go. And now I factor that out. And I do the same thing. 36 divided by 4 is 9. All right, I'm going to do this as well. I'm going to try this out. This is weird. I might not recommend doing this yourself, but maybe this might make sense. 36, I'm going to take the 4. I'm going to divide through it by everybody. This is 9 minus 4 plus 3. Do you see what happened? The 4 went through, divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. Got it. X's turn. X, I have 4 of them. I take away 4 x's, I only have 6 left. I only have 1 left. I have none left. See what I'm saying? 5 y's. I'm taking away 1 of them. I have 4 left. I have 1 left. I have none left. That's the answer.
Nice.
Okay. That's a really weird way to do it, I guess, but hopefully you see the process of what's happening with each section of it. Okay. Done. Last one. Although I probably shouldn't say last one because according to YouTube analytics, if you say last or the end, people leave the video. So don't leave the video. But this is factoring, and it's almost the last one. It really is the last one. I set up my factor bundles. I have my x's. I do my math puzzle in my head. What adds to get 6, multiplies to get 7. So I instantly write down my factors of 7. 1 times 7 is 7, which is my only option. And turns out it works to try and get 6, right? A 1 and a 7 can make a 6. I want the end answer to be a positive 6. This is really close. I just need one less of that. So I am going to put a positive 7 on here, because the overall sign is this, but I'm going to subtract off what it's too much of, right? This is too much by this much. Take it off, okay? Again, I've explained that in many different ways on many different videos, but yeah. And that's it, that's factoring, okay? One thing I will say real quick, and I might as well box this just for my own closure. Closure, boxing, okay. Is look to see if they have anything in common. Like, oh, they have anything in common. I should have said that before I did this, because it is what we've been doing. What they have in common? Okay, they don't have anything in common. Factor, okay? And you also know to factor this thing because it looks like this. X squared, X number, right? Or you can think AX squared plus BX plus C, right? So anyway, you can tell, oh, it's 3 things, I'm factoring it. You should not look at this thing and be like, all right, I need to factor this thing. What adds to get 14 and 32? Well, like, whoa, what? That's confused. No. This is set up for factoring, all right? So, boom.